Welcome to Meganet Gaming, and this morning's last review is going to be on a point-and-click adventure, one of the more obscure titles in the collection, but one that many people that are huge fans of the point-and-click adventure genre have likely played, and that is Kronolog, the Nazi Paradox. Kronolog, the Nazi Paradox was released in 1993, and it was developed by Castle Gameware, published by Merit Software, and it's a game that if you're wanting to pick up a copy, a legitimate copy, it is a bit difficult to track down. We'll go ahead and hit up eBay, see what we can find on there. You can get a sealed big box for $122.39, and it's marked down. Buy it now. So who knows, and we'll go over the game a little bit. Maybe it is worth that amount. So what is the plot of the game, given that's usually the most important part of an adventure game? Well, it's basically based on some events happened where instead of World War II ending the way it did, the secrets for the development of the atomic bomb were actually first fully realized by the Nazi Party, who subsequently won the Second World War and enforced world domination. The world as it now is in a state of decay from excess pollution, environmental problems, and similar blights. Which, if you actually look at some of the Nazi Party propaganda, they said they were focused on environmentalism throughout. So but the actual expression of those policies did seem to deviate quite a bit from stated goals. You take part Hoffman, member of the government, who is in search of his missing son. So, let's go ahead and get over to the game. The game is really not much to look at given the time it came out. And very rough looking. Looks like something that could have came out 5 years earlier, to be honest. And if you think that one thing that breaks a lot of adventure games, it's a combination of two related things. One is having to pixel hunt for items to add to your inventory. And secondly, it is not being able to return to previous areas where you missed said items you had to pixel hunt for. Now you look around this room, and it's been a while since I've played this through. I can tell you this much. I think you need the wrench. Something else you actually need over here. But there's one item here that you won't be able to get back to pretty quickly that's needed to complete the game. And there's another one where there's a condom in the bathroom. You have to buy a condom from the condom machine, and if you fail to, the game is unbeatable. And you only get one shot to get that. Now the story and the plot itself is laid out in such a way that is good enough to make for an interesting story. The interface, albeit looking a bit too dated for the time, makes enough sense to make the game playable. But the excessive amount of items that you can't return to that breaks the game. Means you have to maintain, at times, 10 to 15 different save files that you'll have to go back to because you didn't handle a certain item just the right way. Which makes the game itself rather monotonous.
Insert card.
We also have the lovely copy protection that's coming up, which is fun given a lot of people don't have the manual or the code wheel anymore in order to play the game. Luckily there's copies of it online still, it just requires some looking. You go through a series of chapters. It's about if you know what you're doing, it's about a 2-hour game or so. But given the obtuseness of a lot of the puzzles, as well as the items you have to craft being and items you're looking for, creating a lot of cryptic puzzles and a lot of save files that you'll have where the game is pretty much broken, it ends up being mostly a frustrating experience. The concept and even the story itself are almost enough to carry the game into mediocrity. You have the standard buttons here: talk, look, walk, grab. You have your bag here, it has your inventory, combine items here. It's all your standard stuff. The problem is, what would have been an interesting concept, and rather, it would have at least been an average game. Because of the cryptic puzzles, it's not even the puzzles being cryptic, it's the fact that the puzzles end up breaking the game. Because the items you need are in areas you can't return to. Which means if you don't have a walkthrough of this game, it's going to be quite a frustrating experience. There's a lot of a few items here and there that are interesting to look at in the game. And I don't think I grabbed my card, did I? Nope. I was supposed to grab the card from the last guy.
How's it going, Jack? Dr. Constantine, what brings you to the grand and glorious... First Secretary Loganoff called me over to discuss our newest development. It
Some
looks very
voice
promising.
acting that's
Yeah, from what I've read in the papers,
It's not
it
the
sounds like you've
worst.
been doing some
Yeah, these
really
little-
kick-ass work in Envirotech.
all
By the way,
very
ever
grainy,
hear from that vagabond son of
2
yours?
frame per second
Not for
little
about a
video
month.
clips.
But, you know Philip. I figure he's either hot on the trail of a major archaeological discovery, or else he's fallen in love.
Any excuse to stay in New Mexico, right? Wish I were still there. At least you could breathe the air. Tell him hello for me when he decides to check in.
I will. Did they send up a temporary access card for me?
You bet, Doc. Right here. Don't forget to validate it down below.
You're gonna see some cockroaches that just look like little brown pixels. So yeah, like I said, it's there's an interesting concept here, and a clunky interface by point and click adventure standards even, but it's not unplayable. And if you don't mind going through, if you like the concept behind it, and you don't mind having to pixel hunt for stuff, and maintain a dozen or two save files, and then repeat a lot of items, or if you just want to use a walkthrough to go through the story, there's something here that's not terrible. But the problem is, if you're playing this game properly and going through the objectives as you should, trying to figure out the puzzles on your own, you're likely to forget something, such as the condom early on in the game that's needed for the very last interaction in the game. A spoiler alert, you end up finding out why this world is the way it is, and this is actually a derivative alternative reality that ended up not coming to pass as a result of somebody's actions. And it does create some interesting thoughts about the construction of time and branching paths, which aren't discussed in the game, so I can't really give the game credit for that. But it's an interesting concept, a mediocre story, and a lousy interface, and lousy puzzles, coupled into this to create quite a below average experience. This isn't a game I could recommend to anybody unless they followed a walkthrough and they're willing to, they love the concept, they need a point and click adventure game to play they haven't played yet. Yeah, with the walkthrough, perhaps the game would be tolerable, but otherwise there's just not much here. I can look past the graphics. The story's okay, but it's just, even the clunky interfaces isn't too bad compared to a lot of games around. But the puzzles and items you need to collect and the combining of the items make so little sense half the time in the game. And you have to do so much pixel hunting. And you do have limited inventory space as well. So it's not like you can just pick up every single item in the game just in case you need it. The game's constructed in such a way where you pretty much need to know what you need to get. Otherwise you'll be replaying the game multiple times, and hopefully your saves actually stick around, or else you'll end up highly frustrated. So I'm going to put this game in the below average category, and I'm going to put it right below Jaws for the NES, right above TNC Surf Designs. Like I said, it's an interesting concept, passable story, and the rest of the game is below average to just outright atrocious. Hope you enjoyed the review. Please like, subscribe, and in case you're wondering, it's not worth $122. Move the decimal point a couple of places to the left, and perhaps at $1.22 there might be enough here to satisfy a point and click adventure fan. Have a great day.